Hey everybody, welcome back for more of the exciting adventure that is Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Arsenics, man, it's finals week.
It sure is.
Hope you studied for your LOS exam.
Fate has played its hand, and now the die is set. I knew this child would play her part somehow, and it seems Gabriel has real help at last. It bodes well for our quest. The golem that protects the girl has something that could prove very useful in the end, something unforeseen. My dear friend, I see your destiny before me, and it is terrible indeed. And yet I have trust that all will be as I have hoped.
For thousands of years, this city owned the flow of life. It was a sanctuary of magic, wisdom, and harmony. These people were the ones that created the crystals, which you've already seen. They didn't need armies for protection. Their powers were enough to thwart any threat. That is, until the Lycans came. Then the balance changed. Trolls, goblins, gremlins, creatures of nightmare besieged the city endlessly day and night. Most fled. Others used their remaining powers to create huge titans to fight against the invaders. The battle lasted centuries until there was no stone left standing. No one left. Those that did not die in battle were captured and devoured. My father was one of the last. He hid me. He created the Black Knight to be my protector. We have been running ever since. The Titans outlived their creators and stayed here fighting against an enemy that outnumbered them until even they were defeated. All except one. Behind those doors awaits the last of those Titans. The only way to reach the Sanctuary of the Dark Lord is through that door. We will have to defeat the Titan if we wish to continue our journey. The door will only open with the power of a crystal. You need to find 4 shards to create a whole crystal. We will wait for you here while you look for them.
Fetch quest!
We don't have time to lose, Gabriel. Find the areas where crystal shards grow.
Why don't you point him in the right direction?
Well, okay, and that's also, yeah. Because, you know, I really felt like it. But that's the gimmick of the level. We have to go around and we have to assemble one of those crystals that we saw her use earlier. And there's 4 parts to a crystal.
Alright.
Also close-up time, for the record. Now...
It never ends.
It never ends, believe me, and I will do that at every opportunity. The thing of it is that we teamed up with this lady, okay? And she's got this... I don't know, this, like, gremlin-slaying fucking golem, Lich King there. They're just gonna wait by the fucking door while we go do the shit, okay? Yeah, that makes sense, why not?
Yeah.
Some help they are. Of course, they do have the gift, so they're, you know, they can afford to do that. They're like royalty.
Well, they're testing Gabriel, basically. You know, they could just do this in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, the ward-riding, wall-climbing, acrobatic bullshit that we did earlier wasn't enough of a test.
Well, no. Gabriel doesn't have the gift.
Well, he's got a gift. It may not be the gift, but he's got a gift, all right.
Well, I think he has multiple gifts. All of them horrible.
They are. It's like that sweater that your grandma gets you on Christmas Eve, and you don't have the heart to return it.
Can I point out that that was the first unexpected thing I've ever seen, just having that platform collapse? Like, it didn't point that out. I'm kind of impressed.
I'm telling you, man, I told you at the start here, this is like prep for the final exam, alright? It's slowly weaning us off of the massive dodge prompts.
Castlevania 101. Welcome, Gabriel Belmont.
I mean, it's not like we're at the end of, the fucking, what is this, the 15th stage now already? So...
I've lost track, dude.
Yeah, the little crystals grow in those massively purple glowing areas, in case you hadn't noticed. So it's pretty obvious what you gotta do, and this is what the level consists of. You run around, you've got forced fight segments, and you collect the crystal shards. It's really underwhelming.
You say that as if we haven't had the same level for like 5 updates now.
That's what I'm talking about, man. All this stuff that we're doing here in Chapter 2 could have been knocked out in max 5 stages, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just Chapter 2 is very, very poorly designed, in my opinion, if you hadn't gathered that already.
This chapter sucks.
It does. It really does. But it picks up. I mean, you know, the last level is cool. Also, in case, you know, you hadn't had enough plank walking, here's some more.
I'm disappointed you're not falling as much this time.
Well, I didn't try to do the shortcut thing. I learned my lesson with the invisible walls and whatnot.
No.
And there's our next crystal shard. You may have noticed earlier, before we went on the little plank walking expedition there, the path branched off. If you take the other path, you'll just wind up across that gap over there that you can see, so it's not really that big of a deal. You have to come here anyway. So it's not like a super secret shortcut or anything.
Is she going to be yelling at you the whole time, by the way?
Yes. The whole time.
Why are we bringing her along again?
She's mute, man. For a mute person, she's awfully chatty.
Another one. We need 2 more.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can count. Thanks.
Yeah. Back there at that gate, you saw the little upgrade probably through there. We can't access it yet. We need a combat cross upgrade. We get that in Chapter 5 or 6, I'm wanting to say, so that's going to be a ways off, yeah.
Oh man, I'm trying to guess what the upgrade's going to be.
It's actually one of the better upgrades we get for our combat cross, believe it or not.
Do you, like, put chainsaws on it or something? Does it go to that extreme?
Not exactly a chainsaw. It's more of... It's well, I'll just give you a hint here, okay? We're going to the land of the vampires after this. That's... You figure it out.
Okay. Yeah. I have an idea, but I'm kind of shocked I was somewhat close.
Guess the upgrade. Also more of this bullshit as if you hadn't had enough of it already. A lot of people in the thread brought up the fact that the combat, while fluid, and I can agree with them on this, it is a fluid system. It's just that even these minor enemies with your normal whip take so much damage to kill. And they swamp you with them, right?
I couldn't see a single thing, but sure, I'll go with it.
Well, I mean, the point is that it drags these segments out far longer than they ever should be.
Oh yeah, totally agree with that.
I mean, you want to have these little forced combat segments, that's fine, but don't make the enemies just like giant meat sacks, essentially. Also, this is a very finicky ledge right here, in case you hadn't guessed.
Yeah, it's not looking great. Considering you could barely see the thing.
In case you forgot, we still need 2 more crystal shards, by the way.
My god, fuck off.
I don't know if you were keeping track of that or not, but yeah, we need 2 more, man.
I'm going to hate this character by the end of this, I'm feeling.
Well, it's okay. You'll see in the next update. It's all good.
I don't believe you at all.
You will regret those words, sir.
Will I?
I have no doubt. Of course, this stage she's going to make you hate her. I think that's what they were going for, actually. It's all part of their plan. Now, this area is kind of a bitch if you're not very careful about what you're doing. There are 3 of these greater lichens that you have to fight at the same time. And on their own, they're not that bad. But when you've got 3 of them, shit can get kind of cluttered.
Yeah, this is looking legitimately difficult. I mean, they're durable enemies and they have a lot of attacks. Handling 3 is kind of rough.
It is. I know in the first LP of this game by Cooley, he had a little bit of trouble on this segment as well. The thing to remember about this fight, sync blocking is your friend. Okay? If you just try and run around, I found out, I don't know what it is with the AI, but if you try and run around and fight them all, then they'll all swarm you. But if you come here to the center of the arena and just stand still, then they'll only come at you one at a time.
How polite of them.
It is. It's like they have that battle honor system. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but...
Oh, we'll take it easy on you, Gabriel. We know we're being mean, triple teaming you.
Basically, it's like those old Chinese kung fu movies, right? You've got hundreds of people dancing around in the background, yet, you know, the main guy's only having to fight one. Also, we need 2 more crystal shards in the middle of fucking combat.
Yeah, I remember that part in old Chinese movies, too. Just some woman continuously whispering in my ear, "Get more crystal shards!"
Yes. Okay, I was going to go ahead and finish up and just continue on with the level there, but I remembered something. If you remember when we got our shadow magic, I told you you can combine it with the silver daggers and use what's called explosive daggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are very useful against the Lycans, so why not show that off?
It also sounds badass as hell.
It does. Something you want to remember when you're tossing your silver, whether it's silver or explosive daggers at these greater Lycans, you don't want to just spam them, okay? Because as soon as the first one hits, they'll immediately dodge any other one that you throw out. So, I mean, you can throw like 2 more and they'll just dodge out of the way. So you want to do it one at a time here. But the easy way to do it, I mean, just stand here in the middle, activate your shadow magic, sync block. You don't have to be facing the enemy to sync block them, by the way. That's nice.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. That's pretty cool.
And just as soon as you block one, toss a dagger and lather, rinse, repeat, man.
I like the parry system in this game. It really reminds me of Metal Gear Rising, but it's just like hardly ever had to use it so far.
Yeah, well, most of the minor enemies you don't really require it. Starting in, I believe, Chapter 5 or so, I'm going to be making really good use of this. And especially for the bosses. It's really useful on the bosses and these fairly strong normal enemies like the greater Lycans here.
Dagger really does tear them apart.
It does. 4 daggers will take down, or at least it will initiate the quick time thing for these greater Lycans. And you don't have to worry about it. Go ahead and waste them all because the last one you kill drops a shitload of daggers. I think he drops more than you can actually collect when after you get the upgrades. So
why does he have so many? Ah!
Remember, we still need 2 more crystal shards.
because we need 2 more crystal shards.
Did 2 crystal shards make that never happen again?
Also, something interesting about that is that you don't actually have to fight those 3. You can just run over to the ledge and jump up and skip that shit entirely.
Just 1 more.
That's pretty amazing.
It's good experience. They, each one of the greater Lycans, upon killing it, gives you 100, so that's, I don't know, once you know what you're doing, it's a really good farm.
I also noticed a post in the thread where most of the enemies give you only 5 or 10.
Yes, that increases as the game goes on, but not very much.
That's pretty ridiculous.
I know somebody was asking about whether or not you want to, if it's worth it to just go back and replay a level to increase your experience and whatnot. And for the most part, yes. You really don't need to because a lot of these upgrades are pretty shit anyway.
I've noticed so far most of them have just been slight variants in your chain attacks.
Essentially, that's what all of them are. You'll get the occasional unique upgrade, but it's, I don't know. We've already got the direct heavy combo, which is the boss slayer, essentially. So, yeah, they're really underwhelming for as many as there are.
I wanted to point out something. She said that you could waste the crystal. Is that an actual possibility?
Yes, it's a sub-weapon that you can use.
Wow.
And it does exactly the same thing that we saw at the beginning of, I guess it was stage 5 of this chapter when she used it.
Really?
Yes. And from this level on, enemies will actually drop shards of the dark crystal if you don't have one, and you can collect it and then use it again. It's basically like your super weapon.
Alright, that's pretty cool.
It is.
Not what I was expecting at all. I didn't think Gabriel had it in him.
Unfortunately, he does, and it's, I don't know. Thankfully, this is the only time you really have to go on a fetch quest for one of these things, because it's a major pain in the ass. If you do use it now before you use its intended, like, plot purpose here, then you'll have to go and redo this entire level and recollect the shards.
Do all the enemies respawn?
Yes. Oh joy.
Thanks, Castlevania.
Popular game mechanics, man. Why not?
That's just like, why even have it usable? Just restrict that shit until you're done with this.
Well, but that wouldn't be real world. What if you're curious? What if you want to use it all? Thanks for the help, Claudia. I appreciate that. still just, all that shit's going on in the next room. They're just out there with their back turned to it. That's nice.
Oh, man.
Of course, they couldn't jump through the hole we went through there. The golem couldn't bash that fucking door in with that massive sword. We needed to use the dark crystal to do some, you know, reflective light bullshit. Of course.
Don't think this whole thing was necessary, in all honesty. And you just take the crystal back!
Yes. Because we're not done with it, of course. Now it's actual puzzle time. Oh, yeah.
Behind that red door, the Titan awaits you.
You have a giant with you! Can he do some of this?
He's useless, man. He's like the werewolf, alright? He's just fucking useless.
That's why he's brought down to a normal enemy, as opposed to boss status.
Yeah, exactly. I think I mentioned at Pan's Temple that for every puzzle, there's usually a scroll that will, detail some of it. You can actually unlock the solution at the cost of 200 experience or whatever, however many experience points it gives you, but yeah, there's no need to do this. Basically, we're wanting to bounce the beam of light into that massive door there by doing this. It's very Legend of Zelda-y, I think.
I think there was a puzzle like that in Majora's Mask, I think.
And, you know, there you go. That complex puzzle we're rewarded with. Gabriel Belmont is smarter than a preschooler. Fanfare, ladies and gentlemen, and 200 EXP.
I like how the lady felt the need to congratulate you.
Well, look, the fanfare and the giant prompt on screen wasn't enough, okay?
Does that show up for every puzzle? That didn't show up for the first puzzle.
The puzzle solve thing?
I don't think so, did it?
No, that was actually a cutscene, but every puzzle that doesn't initiate a cutscene does give you that giant prompt and shit.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited for this.
We weren't able to get the crystal back because the little statue that it was in collapsed or some shit, and Gabriel didn't want to dirty his hands and dig it out of there, I guess.
The three companions enter the chamber of the Titans. What awaits them there is all that remains of the great technology of the Aghartians. This battle will test them all, and there is no going back now. The board is set, the pieces in play, and we shall see what occurs and who will emerge the victor. The child and her golem will help, and I hope once the battle is won that Gabriel will have the courage to do what is necessary for our quest to succeed. For there is still the matter of the Lords of Shadow, and their power is even more formidable.
I don't know if this is the style that their art was in or anything, but it looks very Egyptianish to me. And yes, now the lady's going to be shouting at us through the entire fight, by the way.
Alright, so I'm guessing something... You're gonna have to do something with those rocks.
Wow, very good. Yeah, we've got to bring it down so we can climb on top of it. But first, we have to run all the way to the back, because there is actually an upgrade back here. Unless you explore this massive arena, you're not going to find it.
Well, that's kind of a dick move. Can you not move the camera?
No, fixed camera.
You won't even know it's there.
Exactly. Until you finish the level and you see you missed an upgrade.
Especially when it does this.
Yes.
About time. What? I thought it was about to fall down.
Well, it did. It took a knee.
Did it? The cutscene kind of ended suddenly.
Well, yeah. That happens every time on these bosses. Doesn't matter. And instead of glowing ledges, we have these giant, really bright green things, so you're not exactly having to guess where to go. It's just basically copy-paste from the first one. Aside from a different layout, I guess. There's really nothing special or unique about this that we haven't already seen.
All the boss fights aren't going to be like this, right?
No. There is one more at the end of the game, but until then, this is the last one.
Okay.
So, boss fights after this one are actual boss fights, let's put it that way.
Gosh, it has so much health.
It does. Each one of these things takes 10 hits from your combat cross. If you use a crystal, then each one will only take 1 hit. Okay, once you get done with the first rune, he'll continually shake his arm there. So, what should we do in this predicament? What do you think Gabriel Belmont will do?
I'm more fascinated with the Titan's reaction. Why don't you get off my arm? I'm trying to shake you off. You won't get off or anything. Who's this woman?
Also, the mute lady is going to distract the giant rock titan for us. That's nice, thanks.
Did the Titan hear her?
Apparently the gift extends to even... well, even Titans, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy. The gimmick of this one piece is... yeah. There you go. Hold on until the mute lady speaks, and then you can damage its rune. It's really quite a shitty gimmick.
She really hates that Titan. Wow. Sudden character development. I didn't see that coming at all. Oh.
That's entirely scripted. There's nothing you can do to avoid that. But you have to fall off, but then you can quick time your way back up immediately. I don't know. It's weird. Also, once you're done with that previous rune, you don't have to wait for Claudia to distract it anymore. So that was kind of a one-time deal.
I'm sad about that, actually. That was hilarious.
Interesting thing here is that if at the start of the battle, before you climb on the Titan, if you just dick around, Claudia will start to seriously bitch at you. All right, and especially if you get hit by this Titan's attacks and shit, she legit sounds annoyed. Which there's a DSP video we're gonna RP for the thread, and you'll see.
Oh, I can't wait to see that shit. What?
Levitating rock, so we'll just quick time to the thing's forehead because it obviously can't reach up here. It's instead just gonna shake. Why not?
Gabriel, take this! The Titans are no more. She was the last of her kind.
Shall we go on?
We should rest. Night is coming. I know a place.
How did she make it past the Titan? Oh wait, she probably walked around, so why didn't we? Oh gee, silly me for nitpicking at this game's plot, I'm sorry.
This fucking chapter is horrible. Oh my god.
Thankfully there's only one stage left and it's nothing but an actual boss fight, so we're on the upswing now, Arsenics, we are on the upswing. Anyway, appreciate it, man. Hope you all on the thread and enjoying this. It gets better, people. It does.
I'm hoping that you're telling the truth at this point.
Well, I haven't said a lie yet. Catch y'all later.
Don't believe him.